Hey ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. I guess I've been trying to make like a walk and talk video for a long time, but I'm with my kids today, and of course every day, you know, and it's almost impossible to make that kind of video basically when you're with the child, you know. But anyways guys, I will make it short and sweet. I won't make it too long, okay? But this video is for the chosen ones. It's for, you know, it's for God's people. It's for people that have chosen, right? They were called and they answered the call, right? And so I'm here to remind you, okay? I'm here to remind you that no matter what your situation is, no matter how bad it is, how much it hurts, okay? And no matter how much you're being squeezed and how hard, okay? You will come out of this on top, okay? You will. You are being squeezed like a diamond. You are being squeezed, especially financially, right? You either are in the process of being squeezed financially and pretty much in every way, right? Maybe emotionally, mentally with your children, right? But I'm here to tell you that this will only work out for your greatest good. This was your preparation. This is, right, if you're currently going through it, this is your test of character. This is how your character will be built, okay? This is how you will, like a diamond, this is how you're going to be refined. And so no matter how difficult it is right now, just know that, you know, God has got your back, okay? And sooner or later, much sooner than you think probably, and especially if you've been getting prophetic dreams, if you've been seeing the rainbow, you know, for example, if you've been seeing certain signs from God Himself to you, reminding you of your promise, right? Even in the Bible, it says that eventually, you know, the first will be last, the last will be first, right? And this is the case because, well, you know, it took a long time for you to, you know, to be in this training, right? And I mean, you know, I don't know how old you are, right? But most of us chosen ones, light beings, God's true God's people that have been called, they've answered their calling. We've been in preparation. We've been in that testing season for most of our lives, right? And but God, I will tell you this, God is about to do His very, very big one on you. He's going to, and because He knows that this time around, maybe in the past, when you have gotten blessed, right, with a small portion of your, well, I can say a small portion, but when you have gotten blessed, maybe you weren't ready for it just yet. But now you are. Now you are, right? It's kind of like a lottery winner, right? A person who hasn't developed his inner qualities and who is very much still operating from his ego or her ego, they're going to, you know, if they're going to get a lot of, for example, blessings from God, right? Financial blessings, they might, or they actually will, right? Not they might, but they will lose it all. They'll lose it all, right? They will not, they'll use this money to cater to their image, right? They're going to try to make themselves look cooler. They're going to try to please other people and what they think about them, right? So they're going to buy this extremely expensive sports car. Not that there's anything wrong with them, right? But they're going to do everything in their power to just enhance their image, right? In order to please their other people, in order to gain that self-love from them. But when in reality, they don't need that. They don't need that. In fact, the chosen ones, I'm sure many of you have already learned that your image means nothing, and other people don't really care that much, okay? And the only person that that you need to kind of please is yourself. You have to like yourself, you have to love yourself, right? And so also another thing is, right, is that you don't need anything to feel whole. You don't really need money, you don't need cars, you don't need houses. You can feel whole without all of that, okay? You can have, I don't know, $100 in your pocket. Guys, I know this, okay? Like my current situation, right? Like physically speaking, right? I know this, like I'm speaking from experience, guys, okay? You can have like, you can be completely financially broke, okay? But you can still, based on what you're doing, based on where your thoughts are at, and based on the fact that you have been chosen and you are following God's calling and God's purpose for you, right? All of that will make you feel rich, because you're not just thinking about yourself. You're God's child. You're God's worker, right? You're God's angel in a sense, right? And you are here to be a vessel, right? A vessel, and you're here to be used as His vessel in order to help others, in order to help others, and in order to bring about, in order to bring about the new earth, right? The new reality, right? And so for most people, this is your biggest purpose, right? And if you're following that purpose, and if you are in alignment, you are going to have the most expensive energy, basically, right? You're going to be in the energy of abundance and attraction. You're going to become the most attractive person. You're going to feel whole, as if you already have everything which you do, right? Maybe not physically, right? But it's spiritual. If you feel spiritually whole, as if you already have everything, then sooner or later this will manifest, and God will manifest that into your reality too. You're going to, and this is exactly what God has been refining you, and why God has been refining you for so long. To realize that you yourself are priceless, you are worth more, your soul, your spirit is enough. It's enough. When God called you, and you finally answered that call, you have spiritually signed the contract. You have gone into contract to be employed by, not by man, but by God Himself. And so now you should be expecting, or you should expect to get compensated in the physical, and of course not just in the physical, and spiritually speaking too, emotionally, mentally, right? You will be compensated with peace, you will be compensated with joy, you will be compensated with and with abundance in the financial sense too, of course, because God knows that we still need to like feed ourselves, right? And we still need shelter, right? And although some of us are choosing to live in the forest, and I guess that's okay for certain people, right? this is something that they have to go through, right? I don't know. I don't know personally if I would want to go through that, you know, just like living in the forest in a tent, you know. I mean, I love nature. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, I love going out into nature, right? But at the same time, I don't think I'm fully ready for that yet, you know. Anyways, I want to show you something, just how beautiful this place is, okay, guys? I chose this place because it is so absolutely stunning, you know. But anyways, guys, I put my kiddo like over there. He's like picking berries, but I don't want to show him because, you know, it's not safe to show your children, right, on camera. And I did show him in the past a couple of times, and I think, you know, I just didn't really think it through until a possible potential predator, pedophile got to us, okay, or was trying to get to us, you know. And that was scary, you know. And of course, you know, that made me more cautious than before, you know. So, but anyways, guys, what I was gonna say, right, is that once you align, once your values align, once your morals align, once you align with who you truly are and who we all truly are, which is light beings, right? Beings of light, you're automatically, and there will come a choice. You will have to choose. You know, guys, I literally had to choose this consciously. I chose consciously. I was asked the question, and I answered. You know, I answered the call, right? I was asked the question, who do you want to work for? Who do you want to follow, right? And I said I wanted to follow the light, okay? And so, to be honest with you, following the light, it is, in a sense, it's silly not to, because this is who you are, who most of us are at the core, who all of us are. Even the psychopaths and the narcissists that came here, at their core, they're the light too, you know. But I think it's just in this reality, perhaps they had a role to play, which, once again, their role is going to ultimately serve the greater good, right? Even through their evil actions, okay? And so, you know, at our core, we're ultimately all God's warriors, God's soldiers. The chosen ones are probably at the front, right? We're the leaders of it all, but it's not in a selfish way, like I'm the leader, right? Like, you know, you're in this caste system, right? Where, like in India, right? Where you're, you know, top dog, right? No, I'm not. This is not what I mean, right? This is not... in fact, we would, if you consider this, if you take this into consideration, right? There's no caste system. It's like in Sweden, right? It's even. It's you know, and God is in. Yeah, if you consider you know, if you want to know who the top dog is, God is our top dog, right? And we're working for Him, right? And so. Once again, if you are in alignment with His wishes, and if you have been following your purpose and really answered your call and just, you know, doing what God has called you to do, then you are, make no mistake, you are going to be compensated for it, financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, okay? And you're going to... God hasn't forgotten about you, okay? So no matter what you're struggling with right now, guys, no matter, you know, what it looks like on the outside, just know that greater things are coming and things will look up, okay? When it comes to finances, I know it absolutely sucks. Guys, I'm like, financially speaking, I'm the most broke that I've ever been, you know, and it's scary. Sometimes it is extremely scary, especially, you know, if you have a child to feed, right? But I will tell you this, guys, I've also, for the most part, I mean, I'm not saying every single day, right, but for the most part, I'm also the happiest that I've ever been. I've been experiencing the most joy and the most peace that I've ever ever experienced in my life. Even when I had a lot of money, right, and a lot of money in savings, right, and but yeah, that's why, guys, I can speak from experience, and I can tell you that your joy, your peace, it doesn't come from money. It doesn't come from money. Money is simply a tool. Your joy, your peace, your happiness, which also always changes too based on your emotions, your thoughts, right? Your joy, your peace comes from within. It comes from knowing that you're doing the right things and that you're serving the light, you're serving God, and you're serving humanity, and you're making this world a better place, okay? So just know that no matter what your financial situation is looking like right now, things will get better, okay? But you have to align first, right? And once you're aligned, which chosen ones are at this time, first comes alignment, and then comes everything else, right? So the spiritual must happen first, and then the physical will follow, okay? God will, things can, your circumstances can change tomorrow. They can change in an instant. They can change in a second, right? And so just know that things will be all right, no matter what things look like right now, no matter what your circumstances are looking like right now. They can change in a snap. They can change in a snap. And guys, God is about to do that snap, and because you are working for the kingdom of heaven, you are working for the Most High, for someone that moves mountains, for someone that can, move the sea, right? So don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that you are not your circumstances, you're not your experiences. Sometimes we go through the most horrifying, through the most brutal, through the most soul-crushing experiences, right? But guys, if you are working for the Most High, for God, He will restore all of that. He will restore your mental health. He will restore your soul. He will make the impossible possible again. He just simply wanted you to experience what you have experienced, so you could get better, so you could get stronger, so you could lead all the other people that are going through this too, out of this pit of hell, basically, right? And chosen ones, you already know, you've been through the pits of hell, you've been in hell, and you conquered it, and you got out to tell people about it, right? And to inspire people, and to get them out of the same hell that they're stuck in, spiritually and not physically, but well, yeah, physically too, but spiritually, right? Energetically, right? And so yes, guys, don't lose hope, okay? Keep that faith, and because things can happen in an instant, and chosen ones, I assure you that things are about to look up, and your promises are about to come to pass. I don't know when, okay, but I'm sure a lot of you have seen the signs. I'm sure a lot of you have felt it. I'm sure a lot of you have, like I said, have gotten dreams about it. God doesn't lie. God is a God of His word, and you yourself had to develop the qualities that God possesses, right? You yourself had to get stronger. You yourself had to learn to keep your word, to keep your promises. You yourself had to, learn to keep yourself accountable for your actions. You yourself had to learn how to apologize and to put your ego aside. You yourself had to learn to feel whole when you had nothing, physically speaking, right? You yourself had to learn to look on the bright side, even when, things were on the outside outside were looking really bleak, right, and scarce, you yourself had to learn that you and only you are enough, and that you don't need anyone in your life to save you. Once you started working for the Most High, you realize that you have the power, and you're not going to give this power away to just about anyone that comes in and is acting like they're going to save you, right? At this time you have a sword in one hand, right? And I don't know, you give hugs with your other hand, right? It's like kind of like this, right? So you learn to keep your boundaries, you learn to keep bad people away from you, no matter, because you can now read energy, right? And you can identify who they are. You yourself had to get super honest with yourself about everything, right? And because your illusions have dissolved, you're now able to see when someone else is trying to present you with an illusion, right? And so you're not buying it. You're not buying it anymore, Anyway, so guys, stay prepared, okay? Stay prepared, stay hopeful, stay encouraged, okay?